What's going on, guys? It's Friday morning. I've been on the bacon diet for 3 full days. I'm already down 2 pounds. I started out the week at 198.6. This morning I was 196.4. I have a thing somewhere here showing that. What I'm about to do right now is actually do a glucose test. We're gonna see how deep a keto I've gotten in the past 3 days. So here's how the glucose testing kit works. First things first, what you need to do is get yourself a glucose monitor. We turn this on, and then the next step is to actually stick one of the sheets already in it. You got one of these guys right here. You put the chip reader in and then have that little blood icon sticking out. The next step is to tear a hole using a lancet. My lancet broke, so I just literally stick the needle into my finger. Once you have some blood on your finger, take the strip and then take that blood, and it's going to show you an exact reading of your blood glucose levels. This is going to be as accurate as you can get when trying to find out what levels of ketosis you're in. So let's see where I'm at. So you can see right here my glucose levels are 92 milligrams per deciliter. That's pretty good. If you're under 100, you can pretty much be sure that you're in ketosis. I would rather be around 80. I think 80 would really be ideal, but 10 points off, that's pretty good. I'm only 3 days into keto. I expect by next week, once I've acclimated, I'll probably be able to get this even lower, but 90 is a good range for measuring keto. We can get deeper though. Let's see if we can pull that off. All right, we just got back from the gym. I'm gonna show you guys what my first meal of the day has been looking like all week. So if I'm gonna start things off, doing a double scoop of protein here. By the way, I normally have like 4 to 6 bacon slices in the morning. I have them laid out here. I've been kind of nibbling them as I set the shot up. There's only 2 of them left. The bacon is good as always, very salty. Let's get this protein shake going now. Between the double scoop protein shake and the 5 to 6 strips of bacon, we're looking at an early morning breakfast of maybe around 500 calories. This gets me all the way to lunchtime, feeling really good, at which point I have more bacon. My second meal of the day is much more bacon heavy. It's going to be closer to around a pound. Today is going to be slightly different. I'm always about full disclosure with my audience. Tomorrow I'm attempting a 20-mile run. I have a marathon coming up in October, and despite the fact I do want to lose a lot of weight, I still have to take my marathon prep seriously, which is why tonight I will be doing a carbohydrate load just for the marathon prep. If I'm able to successfully run 20 miles, we can accurately assume I'm burning off somewhere around 2,500 calories. So I actually want to have around that many carbohydrates before I get on to the track. Ideally, I finish my run at equilibrium, no calorie surplus, no calorie deficit. This is for marathon prep. Beyond that, I'll be baking for the rest of the week, and I'll be baking after my run as well. What I'm going to be doing for my carbohydrate load just for this marathon prep, I'm going to be having protein pancakes for lunch, and then I'm going to have bacon again for dinner, but included with that is going to be a large amount of potatoes. Beyond that, keeping it simple. I'm going to have gummy bears on me while I do my run. As soon as my run is over, it's back to bacon. See you guys at dinner time. All right, it's 7:30 Friday night. I'm going to be exiting keto just momentarily. We've got our tray filled with potatoes. I don't know how many of them I'm going to have quite yet. I want to make enough so that there's no chance of me not having enough. I'm aiming for 20 miles tomorrow. So ideally what I'd like to have is somewhere around 600 grams of carbohydrates tonight, and then maybe another 150 in the morning. That should get me through a 20-mile run. Afterwards, we're gonna go back to keto. Hopefully I'm back into ketosis by tomorrow night. I'm gonna cook these up, make some medallions out of them. It's kind of like French fries, but instead of them being like up and downy, they're like circular. I'm gonna slice these up, show you guys what I'm working with. So I got all my potatoes in order. Check this out. This right here is quite a lot of potatoes. We're gonna start salting these just like that. I got this tagine seasoning. I love this stuff. This is the good stuff right here. There we go. Just salting this thing up as good as I can. There we go. So the whole idea here isn't necessarily to finish every single potato slice, but what I want to do is get as carbohydrate loaded tonight as I can, or like comfortably anyways. Tomorrow I'll probably have a little bit left over, and I'll have those in the morning on the drive to my long run. I'm gonna get these in the oven, get them baking. By this time tomorrow, we're back on the bacon plan. Good morning, it's Saturday. I'm about to do this 20-mile run. I've been able to complete 18 miles a few times now, but I've never been able to do 20. Today we're gonna see if it finally works out. The good news is, as you can see, it's cloudy, it's overcast, and it's actually pretty chilly. For being mid-September, it's a little cold, 45 degrees, but this is actually perfect running weather. With the clouds in the sky and the heat low, I'm predicting that this might actually be an easier run than normal. Most of the time, what really does me in is getting sunburned around 9:30 to 10 a.m. That's usually when the sun starts drying me out and the heat starts kicking in. With that being out of the way today, the hope is that I can just keep on going, push all the way to 20. The park I'm at has a track that goes around exactly 6.2 miles. That's a perfect 10K. So my plan is to try to run 3 laps around that. My truck is in a parking lot. I've got supplies in here. After each lap, I'm gonna refuel and get back out there. This is gonna add a little bit of extra distance. My hope is that 3 full laps will come out to exactly 20 miles. My carbs have officially been loaded. There will be no more carbs for the remainder of this challenge. What I'm gonna be doing as soon as this race is done, we'll check my blood glucose, see how much of that I burned off. I'm expecting to burn off actually all of it. We'll see if that rings true when I get home. From here on out, it's gonna be all bacon until September 17th. Let's get after it. Well, there we have it. We've got 20 miles in the bag. Perfect weather for long runs. Clouds are still in the sky. It's a little bit sunnier, but it's still pretty chilly. I never felt too warm out there. This was by far the easiest run I've been on all summer. It actually wasn't even close, and I still went further than ever before. As I said before, we tackled 20 miles. Now, the keto diet is great. I attribute it to tremendous amounts of weight loss, but I could not have done this run without the carb load I did last night. And that's really the importance of being able to manage multiple different diets. Different diets are going to be better for different goals. In my opinion, keto is the #1 diet for fat loss, but it's really not that great for performance athletics. Whereas a high carbohydrate diet is incredible for performance athletics, but it's not going to do a whole lot for your physique. If you want to excel in both areas, you can. You just have to know when to switch from one diet to the other. This week has been a perfect example of that. I've been on the keto diet all through the week, except for last night when I did my carbohydrate load. As of tonight, I'm going to be switching back to keto. My run is over. However, I will say one thing. I just spent the better part of 4 hours running, so I'm just going to go out and have whatever I want as a celebratory meal. After all, this is the first time I've ever run 20 miles in my entire life. I'm going to make sure to celebrate that with a little bit of sushi. Once I get home, it's back to the plan. I'll be having bacon tonight. I'll be having bacon all next week. And if I don't decide to do a long run next week, I'll continue through the weekend. But while I was out there running, it did get me thinking. I've got this marathon coming up in 5 weeks. I can put the aesthetic goals on the back burner a little bit. Once the marathon is over, then I'm really going to dial in to more aesthetic dieting. For now, the marathon is my top priority. That does mean that when I go out and do long training sessions, I do need to be on carbohydrates, which means I'm not going to really be shedding fat. Believe it or not, long distance running actually doesn't burn as many calories as people would think, especially because you need the carbohydrates as fuel to be able to perform anyways. You would be surprised at how much the workout cancels out the calorie burn. That's okay, because my goal for the marathon is to run the miles, not burn the calories. If your goal is to burn body fat, I still believe the best thing you can do is be on a ketogenic diet and do light cardio that's very easy and maintainable. Zone 1 to zone 2 is perfect for people that are trying to burn calories with the goal of improving their physique. Once you enter zone 3 and above, you have to accept that there's a chance you may eat more calories than you burn, which means you actually won't burn fat at all. This is fine in performance athletics. At the end of the day, it's all about knowing which diet you're trying to do at which time. And if you want to achieve both goals at the same time, you just need to know when to switch your diet. As I did this week, I was keto and I did carbs. In 1 week, we're going back to keto. It is possible to achieve both goals at the same time if you know what you're doing. Anyways, I'm going to get some sushi, then head home, and we're back on keto. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Sunday night, I just finished up meal prepping this bacon. Let's see how I did. Got my handy dandy oven mitt.
Oh yeah, nice and crispy.
So this down here came out to be 4 packs of bacon, 2 packs per tray. As you can see, I really do like my bacon crispy. This makes it so much lower calorie. It's actually quite surprising how much a difference it really does make. When you get the bacon to a crispiness level like I like to go with, you can get the bacon down to maybe 3.5 ounces per cooked pack. So it starts out at 1 pound, but I cook it down to 3.5 ounces. This lets me know it's roughly 650 to 700 calories. Look, we're never going to get the numbers exactly right, but if we can get close enough, I'm happy with that. Before I have dinner, this might be a good time to hit the glucose check. I didn't do it yesterday because I did go out to have sushi after my run. It wasn't originally part of the plan, but hey, after you run for about 4 hours, you kind of change your mind about some things. Either way, I didn't overindulge. It was a nice meal, but I do kind of think I'm probably back into ketosis already. I'm gonna go out on the deck to kind of change the scenery up a little bit, and we're gonna see, did I get back into keto today? Are my glucose levels low? Let's find out. Ah, beautiful September afternoon. I'm not sure how many more of these we're gonna get. It's a lot warmer today than it was yesterday. And it's also nighttime, always warmer at night. So I apologize, in the intro, I didn't realize there was lens flare when I showed you guys the glucose monitor at first, so hopefully there's no lens flare this time. Oh, and I apologize if my neighbor's dog barks while we do this. So anyways, in case you need the refresher, we get our handy dandy scanner. By the way, when I was shooting that, it was like 6:30 in the morning and my brain wasn't fully turned on yet. See how we got that little chip right there? The chip goes in the glucose monitor. We're gonna see a little sand icon. It might already be gone. When it's got that flashing blood drip icon at the bottom, that's how you know it's ready. Like I said in the intro, my clicky penny thing, this thing just stopped working. I don't know. You could fix it, you could replace it, or you could just be like me and just tough it out and make your own hole. All right. Hopefully there's no lens flare. We're at 102 milligrams per deciliter. Or that is what DL stands for, isn't it? I gotta hide my little blood drippy finger. I don't think YouTube allows you to show gore, so don't report this video for gore if you're really cool. 102 milligrams per deciliter. I'm getting back into ketosis. Not quite at the levels that I would like, but hey, it's Sunday. I got a whole nother 10 days on this challenge. Bacon's out of the oven now. It's drying out. It's getting back to room temperature. I'm gonna drain the grease and then I'm gonna start storing it. It's super crispy. I think this batch is gonna really turn out good. I left it in a little bit longer than I normally do. It's Sundays, you got a little bit more time. You can leave it in the oven longer. The longer you leave it in, it's at like a mild temperature, like 300 degrees. The easier it is to get it crispy without actually burning it. I left it in for maybe 2.5 hours, and then I actually poured the grease out of the pan into the trash, then put it back into the oven. Without all the grease in the pan, it's a lot easier to dry it out, as you know, it is going to be hard to dry the pan out while there's still grease in it. Just the way it goes. All this bacon is going to be kind of long meal prep, but in the long run, it's worth it. We're getting into heavy keto. The fat should start flying off next week. Assuming everything goes as planned, by September 17th, I'm hoping to be somewhere around 11% body fat. Once this marathon's over, then we're really gonna dig deep and actually try to get like lean. I just gotta prioritize the runs for now. This upcoming week, I do plan on kind of dialing back on the running just a little bit. 20 miles is pretty tough on the body. You don't need to be doing long runs of that caliber every single weekend. I probably won't go out for my 22 miler until after this bacon challenge is done. Next weekend will probably be more relaxed. Maybe you'll go like for 8 to 10 miles. It's much easier to do that. I could probably even do it in ketosis if I needed to. Nonetheless, I'm going to check in with you guys one more time in the morning. We're going to see how much I weigh, and then we're going to find out how week 1 went. Normally, I would have a food challenge like this start on Sundays because I do post on Mondays, but because Labor Day was on a Monday, I had to start the challenge on Tuesday, which means my posting schedule isn't going to perfectly line up. Going forward, when we do our next bacon mini cut, we'll make sure we start it on a Sunday. That way, when I do my regular postings on Monday, you guys will get the most accurate and timely data. For what it's worth, I woke up today the same weight I was before I did the carb load, so I don't think there was any damage done. We're back on track, and we're gonna see where things go from here. It's beautiful out here. It's sunny, blue skies, 70 degrees in September. You couldn't ask for anything better. By the way, Detroit Lions play in like 1 hour, so let's go Lions. I'll see you guys in the morning for that last weigh-in. All right, it's Monday morning. I just did my weigh-in. I'm holding a little bit of water this morning, so the results aren't too impressive yet, but I expect by next week we're gonna see some significant weight drop. Before I let you guys go, let's do one more glucose test, see where we're at. Hopefully I'm back into good levels of keto this morning. And there we have it, 89 milligrams per deciliter. We're back into keto. All in all, for a weekly recap, I dipped down at my latest. I got down to 196, so the weight loss was there. That was Friday morning before the carb load, before the marathon training. Now that my big training day is over, I think this next week I'm going to lose a lot more weight because I'm not going to be trying to do two things at once. This next upcoming week is going to be a lot more keto focused. Over the weekend, instead of doing a carb load, I'm just going to have a normal bacon Saturday. I probably won't run as much this week. However, I will do low intensity running. Try to target maybe an 11-minute mile for about 5 miles a day. That should be a pretty casual amount of running that I should be able to maintain while in ketosis to lose a little bit more weight and get to September 17th. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and like it. Also subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps. And if you really want to help me grow this channel, if you've been rocking with me for a while, the biggest thing that you could do, even if you're not comfortable sharing with this video with a friend, if you hit the share button and just send it to your own email address, these kinds of things still really help with the YouTube algorithm. This kind of thing will really help me grow. I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's get on to week 2. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.